Hello everyone, welcome to Centrestack. Today I'm going to give you an introduction to the Cluster Manager in Centrestack. We are logged in as our default cluster admin and we are in the dashboard of the Cluster Manager. Here you see the tenants and you can manage tenants from here. Under licenses, you have the option to purchase more licenses. Under worker nodes, you have the option to manage cluster server farm, configure SMTP email service, and you also have the cluster branding option. Under active users, you see 2 users and you have the cluster info. Total number of files shows you the number of total files, and you also have the cluster report option, and total file size right now shows 0. Navigate the menu, toggle navigation menu, and this left pane is the cluster manager. The first option is the dashboard, which we discussed. We have the Tenant Manager and we have the icon view and the list view, so you could switch between both of them. And here we have the default tenant, and I have 2 additional tenants. I'm going to expand the menu here, and you have the option to manage the tenants. And here we have some basic information and advanced information. You could alter if you need to make any changes, and you would just apply changes. Select that again, and forceful scan storage. Depending on the data, this may take long, so I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to select cancel. And we have change tenant admin password. You could change the password and reset the password. Then you could have the option to send in the email and notify the user yourself. I'm going to select cancel. We also have edit existing default storage, and if you need to change that, you could change it here, and you would just select apply. I'm going to select Tenant Manager again, and I'm going to show you delete tenant option, and if you want to delete, you would just select OK. I'm not going to delete my tenant right now. And here you have an option to create new tenant, and you also have an option here to add a new tenant as well, and you would enter the information to create the tenant. I'm going to select cluster admin, and here you could change the default admin information such as the name, and you could also change the email and reset the password, and you could add additional cluster administrators as well. Cluster branding, I'm going to select general first from the menu, and here you have the option to do the branding for the general. We have the web portal branding, and we have the client download option here as well, and we have some options such as don't show download for Windows client, don't show download for Windows Server Agent, don't show download for Mac client, for the iOS client, don't show download for Android client and for the Windows tablet, and don't show download for the store. Windows client branding, we also have branding for Mac client, branding for iOS client, branding for Android client, branding for emails, and we have branding for export and import option here. If you have existing branding settings that you would like to use, you could export them, import them from here, and you would just select export or import. We have email services option in the cluster manager. I'm going to select that, and here you could configure SMTP email service, or you could check use my own SMTP server to send emails, and you would just select apply. Cluster server farm, the menu has the option for the cluster worker node. You could see the existing node, and you have an option to add a new worker node here as well. You have the option to edit the worker node, and you also have the option to edit cloud monitor settings, and you would enable storage scan if you need to, and you would set a start and end hour for the scan, and you will select apply. You also have the apply localization change and unpublish option. Cluster web node is not really required unless you're a very large organization, and you could just add a new node if you need to. Under zones, if you have multiple data centers where you have Centrestack servers deployed, you can configure zones, and you would just have to select add new zone, and you would add the information here. Cluster info tab expands the active users menu here, and here you see the list of active users. We have the guest users option, and you here see the guest users, and you have the option to delete the guest user, and you also have the option to reset the password for the guest user. We have the server agent. You could see the server agent here, and you have the task manager here, and you have the option to wipe device as well. We're going to select the node performance, and this shows you the different counters we have for the server node performance here. You could just expand and make to the right to make the counters bigger. Under reports, we have the upload report, which shows you the file uploads. We have the storage statistics, which shows you the pie chart, the overall statistics, the file type distribution, size distribution, and you could also see users who have used the most storage under here as well. We're going to select the cluster settings. We have the client version manager, and here you could see the version for the Windows client and also for the server agent. And you also have the option to publish to get an upgrade, and you could also unpublish it. And then we have the application manager under cluster settings from the left pane. And these are the applications available right now: Microsoft Office web app, Zuhu web app, and Plixer web app. We're going to select the settings. And we have quite a few settings such as hide login message details, enable contact management policy, enable tenant branding, hide forgot your password link on login page, don't retry when login fail, show purge storage option when delete user, enable multiple AD domain support, turn on two-step verification, don't send email notification when purge deleted content, use icon view as default web browser view. You could simply just check and uncheck. And we also have don't show icon preview if the file size is larger than 5,000 KB. We're going to select the language tab. And we have quite a few language options you could choose. I'm going to expand the menu for those languages, and I'm going to select French. From the drop-down menu, as you could see, we have a lot of languages. I'm going to select French and set language. And here you could see the resources file. I'm just going to select one of the files. And here you could see we have them translated from English to French. And this is how you manage the cluster manager. Thank you.